Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. So, I want to get into this video. And before we get into the video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, give it a thumbs up for your boy, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about some of the things that are about to be said here today. But getting straight to the video. Last night, we had the New York Jets. They got their first win since firing Robert Saleh. Beat the Houston Texans, the AFC South leading Houston Texans, who are now 6-3. They beat them 21-13 in New York. We saw, we'll show it, but you saw Rodgers connect with Garrett Wilson. He had 2 touchdowns, by the way. He connected with Garrett Wilson with a Jordan logo type grab. He then hit Davante Adams, a little bit later in the game to basically seal it with a 37-yard touchdown reception. And, at 3-6, the Jets will now go on to play, the Cardinals. They got the Colts. They got the Seahawks along with Miami. Then they got Jacksonville and the Rams in there before playing the Buffalo Bills again. The loss that pretty much started this whole thing with Davante Adams and things like that. So yeah, they have those teams, and again, ending with the Dolphins. So they still have the Dolphins twice. So I say that to say definitely a lot of winnable games for the New York Jets coming up as we enter the final half of the season. So and definitely an opportunity to still, even though they're 3-6, opportunity to still make a reach for the playoffs. Because I still, when I see the win, the resiliency, especially how it started, I look at them and I say, they still have a chance, because they definitely do, especially with the games coming up. The Cardinals are, I like how the Cardinals are playing, but in terms of record-wise, 4-4 team, just like the Seahawks, 4-4 team. The Colts, winnable. Like I said, all winnable. Jacksonville, Miami, Rams, winnable games. All winnable games. Because it was touch and go for the Jets for a second, but they were able to pull that game out last night. Because you saw the brown paper bag fans there, expecting the worst, had the brown paper bags over their head, things like that. But they ended up getting to see the Jets win, only their second home game of the season, especially after, and something to definitely ease the pain, alleviate the pain, however you want to call it, after the Yankees Game 5 5th inning collapsed the other night in the World Series. That sealed it for them, sealed their fate, and the Dodgers ended up winning the championship. So this definitely helped, and it would have been just all bad for those Jets fans who are also Yankee fans, because yeah, that game 5 was just a tough one. That 5th inning that sparked everything for the Dodgers, that was tough. I'm not a Yankee fan, but I could just put myself in those shoes and imagine how I would feel had that been my team. And we don't want to talk about my baseball team, Angels. But anyway, let's not talk about that. And that's not why we're here to do this. Neither is, the New York Jets. That's not the main reason of this video, but I did wanted to highlight that. I wanted to talk about the Houston Texans for a little bit, and mainly CJ Stroud. Now, I got Stroud on my fantasy team. I got CJ on the fantasy team. And rightfully so, I benched him this week, because I just knew it. I don't like Thursday games, especially playing my guys on Thursdays, because I hardly ever have good performances. And CJ has just been struggling the last few games anyway, especially without Nico Collins. So I made the call to just bench him last night. And I'm going to go with Joe Flacco this Sunday night against the Minnesota Vikings instead. You can't play any worse than CJ played. So, oh well, I'm going to stick with that. I also got Derek Carr as an option against Carolina, so I'll have to make a decision before the early game. But again, in what I'm about to say, make no mistake about it. I like CJ Stroud. I like Stroud. and he'll be definitely be back in my starting lineup next week when Nico Collins return against I believe they play Detroit. So he'll definitely be back in my starting lineup. But this is what I wanted to talk about when it comes to Stroud. This is what I wanted to talk about. As a Panthers fan, you know, I had a lot of people come up to me last year and even sometimes, you know, this year, you know, with the Bryce Young comparison, like, oh, Carolina made a mistake and things like that. They took the wrong quarterback because you saw the Panthers go 2-15 last year. You saw the Texans go, I believe, 11-6 or something like that. You saw, you know, C.J. Stroud flourish in his first season. He flourished in his rookie season. But I kept trying to show people the obvious. And the obvious was C.J. had weapons. C.J. has protection with those weapons. Bryce Young had none of that. He had none of that in Carolina. He got sacked like 60-some times. How many times did Bryce get sacked last year? If Adam Thielen, who's like 33, 34, is your number one option, then struggles like what you saw are going to happen. But you saw what happened to Stroud last night. You saw what happened to him last night. And again, this is no shade to him, but I just want people to see this. Look at this. He was sacked 8 times last night. Look at the QBR. Look at the sacks. Look at the completion percentage. This is what, because he has no help right now. He doesn't have Nico Collins. He just lost Stephon Diggs, and he was 11 for 30 last night. Now they did abandon this run game right here, because this guy Joe Mixon had like 91 yards or something like that at halftime, and look what he ended up with. He was rushing all over the Jets, and you saw Stroud get in on the action. That's not bad at all for a quarterback. But Stroud, even when you, not just this game, but just the last few games in general that I've seen him play, because like I said, he's my fantasy football quarterback. He hasn't really been all that good since this Jacksonville game. I mean, they did blow out New England, but that's New England. Even this game right here, I saw him struggle down the stretch, and they were fortunate to win this Buffalo game right here. Very fortunate to win this game. And he was struggling in that game, and he still had Nico Collins at this point. He still had Nico. But then this game, 86 yards. I watched this game right here as well. He just wasn't playing good football. He wasn't playing good football, and that's no slight towards him. Got sacked 4 times, 10 for 21. He just doesn't have the help right now. He doesn't have the help, and that's the same thing that Bryce Young has been consistently going through in Carolina. This has been the norm for Bryce Young to be going through what we saw C.J. Stroud go through mainly last night, and you know, especially last night, and you know, the last few games of the season. So I don't think, you know, C.J. Stroud would have changed life in Carolina had we gone with Stroud instead of Young. And I still think Young can be a very good quarterback in this league. He just doesn't have the same situation that C.J. Stroud has, the norm. Stroud would have gone through the same thing Bryce Young is going through. Yes, I know he's bigger, he's taller, but he wouldn't have made a difference. What's going on in Carolina, not even Mahomes or Lamar Jackson can make a difference with that team. So I just wanted to highlight that because I watched that game last night, and it really did show that, hey, had he gone to Carolina, it wouldn't have been any different. And also, I'm glad I got to do this video because I don't talk too much Panthers lately. It's just too stressful covering them because they're just unwatchable. It's unbearable because, like I said, I don't see a future in sight. Like, I don't see the direction they're going in. They just traded Deontay Johnson. It's just, I don't know where they're going from here. I don't know where they're going from here. The Carolina Panthers. But, again, that's all I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Because, like I said, I've seen the struggles the last few games. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but he just, his situation is better. When he has all the things that are afforded to him, his situation is way better than Bryce Young's. But that's all I wanted to talk about. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Peace.